Okay, for homework 10, 13, or 14, depending on what period you're in, I'm going to have you to warm your brain up for this exam next week. Focus on the four main processes, the four main kind of math things you're doing for this test. So on your paper I'm giving you, divided into four sections. Write all these words if I could. Label each section, or everything you see on this slide I want you to copy into each section of that paper. And then of course write down the 5 words to show me that you listened. So here we go. The first main process, ratios, is writing the ratio and being able to either find the value by using your calculator or compare your ratio to another just by looking at what's equivalent, or if you're dividing or multiplying by the same number. First word is cloud. Cloud. So for this one, it's comparing A to C. So if I look at A on this chart is 30. So that's 30 compared to that C number. If I look at C on this chart, goes up to 50. So that's 30 to 50. Some of you will be able to look at this and be able to tell of the ratios down below which one matches 30 to 50, because there's only one down there looking close to 30 to 50. Some of you will automatically go to this one right here, seeing that if you just shave off these zeros, which is equivalent to dividing both by 10, it whittles down to 3 to 5. One way of doing it. Another way, the value way, always know how to find values, is taking that first number 30, dividing it by that second number on your calculator. So always in that order, first number divided by the second number gives me 0.6. You would have to look down here and divide all of these in that same order to see which one gives you 0.6. 5 divided by 3 gives me 1.6 value. That's not close. 2 divided by 5 gives me 0.4. If I divide 2 by 5, gives me 0.4. That's not close. If I divide 3 by 5, that gives me 0.6, which matches this 0.6. So that's another way of doing it. Using your calculator to find the value that matches. Always value first number divided by the second on your calculator. Value of a ratio. All right, next problem. Here we go. The next process is plugging in a number using order of operations. We've been doing this problem. You can see how many times this problem's tripped me up too. So focus, you can get this right. So again, plugging in a number and following order of operations, the next process after ratios. So plugging in this number goes into n. All those other numbers stay the same. So I got 3 right here, plus where that n is, that's where I put this 6. Still got that 2 up there, can't drop that 2 to the second power. Got 5 times 7 minus another place where I put that n. Next word, random word, is drop. Drop. So now going left to right, following order of operations, I'm going to do this math right here in one step. So here I go, next step down, I still got 3. 6 times 6 gives me 36. Never does that give you 12. Never. Never times 6 times 2. 6 times 6. Know how to do a power. And then 5 times 7 gives me 35 minus 6. Now I'm going to go left to right. So 3 plus 36 gives me 39. Bring down those other numbers. 39 plus 35, using my calculator here just to double check, gives me 74. and then 74 minus 6, making sure to use my calculator to get this right, gives me 68. All right, so again, plugging in a number for a variable, following order of operations. Have to know how to do that. The other process was ratios, being able to list the numbers in the order that they're asking, and then either by using your calculator to find the value or by just looking at equivalent ratios that have you divide or multiply by the same number, always whittles it down to equivalent. All right, third process is looking at equivalent expressions and distributing. Next random word is rain. Rain. So for this tough one, they give you something already distributed, that expression. It's not an equation. It's not equal to anything. It's not an equation. It's an expression. And then they give you some choices to distribute and see if they give you the same 12R plus 36. Have to know how to distribute from the front side, which is the normal way we show to distribute, or from the back side, which is still distributing, but looking at it from the back side of the parenthesis. Have to know how to distribute, timesing that number in front by both inside there, or timesing that number on the back side by both inside that parenthesis. So here I go. That first one, if I times it, gives me 12R. 12 times R is 12R, plus 12 times 3, 36. I could see it's the same, so that one is equivalent. This next one here, if I distribute a little tougher, 6R times another R, because I have two of those R's times in right there, makes it tougher. Gives me 12R to the second power, because I'm timesing two of those, plus 36R. And you can see too many R's on there. Next one, 4 times 3R gives me, ooh, close, 12R, looking good, but then 4 times 10 gives me 40, which now makes it look bad. That one's not equal. Next one, 6 times 2R from the backside gives me 12R, 6 times 6, 36. So you can see that one is the second equivalent. This tougher one will always have two answers. All right, last process. Next word is blue. Random word is blue. Okay, the last process of these four today, ratios and values, but doing unit rate. These are unit rate problems. And again, maybe I should have wrote unit rate. So let's just cross this off and have you on your paper, sorry about that, write unit rate. Because that's what these problems really are, unit rate, dividing something down to get it into its base 1 unit, how much per 1, so you can compare. All right, so here we go, unit rate, always dividing the money unit by whatever's listed after or first, or doesn't matter order, but again, always divide the money unit first on your calculator, the money number first, divided by what other unit number is second, whether it be notebooks or classes or gallons or miles, dollars per mile, dollars per gallon, dollars per inches, dollars per feet, dollars per meter, always. And then on your calculator, divide in that order too. 22, the money number first, divided by 8 on my calculator, gives me 2.75, but don't just leave it. Write the unit. That gives me 2.75, $2.75 for every one notebook that I'm buying. That's called unit rate. Putting it over 1 helps you compare. Now you know how much one notebook is. Now you can compare. So over here I have $28 Always doesn't matter the order that they write it for unit rate. It's always the money unit first divided by the other unit number second. Divide that on my calculator in that order. Gives me 2.333. We'll round that. Since we're practicing rounding to 2 decimal places, definitely not enough to round it up. So I'm going to call that 2.33 rounded, and that is $2.33 for every one notebook unit rate. Now I know how much each store is costing for one notebook. Now I can compare. Whatever number is lower is the lower price, because you're comparing both now to one notebook. Now whatever number up here is lower is the lower price. Last word is sky. And then of course on this one, make sure, test day, to label this as the lower price. Alright, make sure your name is on this. If you finish early, just relax. If you are really listening, let me know by giving me the first thumbs up. Throw you a little bit of extra credit. Thanks for listening. Good luck.